إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا مولانا محمد عبده ورسوله أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. My beloved brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. First and foremost, I always like to start my khutbah by giving thanks to Allah for allowing us to come together on this day of Jumu'ah. Because there are many communities, those that we know and those that we don't know, that don't have Jumu'ah. They don't have a musalla, they don't have a masjid, they don't even have a community. But we're able to come together so that we realize that all of the hardships that we go through, we're not going through it alone. When Ramadan comes, you really feel it, but sometimes outside of Ramadan, we don't realize it. You pray 5 times a day, you go to work, you're the only Muslim in your job, you go in a little corner, you pray, no one even knows you were gone because it only took you 4 minutes. Then you come back to the normal grind of things, and to everybody else, you're like everyone else in the rat race. But we know what we each other go through. We know what it means to have to wash your feet in a sink and hope no one walks in. We know that. We understand. And if you catch someone else like that, it's like, brother, don't worry, I got you. I simply want to be a reminder to you. I don't need to tell you what year it is and why it's important right now. I don't need to tell you who to vote for. That's not up for me to decide. That's for you to decide. I don't need to tell you all the atrocities that are occurring in other countries and how it's also being moved on to another country. I don't need to tell you how one of our own brothers was put to death when it was deemed him innocent. And the people who were prosecuting him also decided he was innocent, but everyone ignored it. A brother who was an imam in his community, although that community unfortunately was death row. I don't need to stand here to tell you, because the moment you leave and you turn your phone and go to TikTok and YouTube Shorts, you'll get a video about it. Oh, did you know about this? Did you know about this? You'll see dancing here or this, that, and the other, what have you, and all of a sudden you have some imam who's coming telling you, reminding you, hey, don't forget about the atrocities occurring. What I am here to remind you of is the whole point of the khutbah. To have you realize and reconnect with your deen. The whole point of me being here is to remind you of the realities of this world. Because we quickly forget, because it's one of two. Either everything is completely destroyed and there's no point in doing anything, or you close your eyes, you close your ears, and you go to work. You go to school. You focus on your kids. And I have one here. You make sure they're happy, you make sure they're content, you make sure they're comfortable, and you quickly forget. Because you'll blink and a week goes by. You blink and a year's practically gone. October 7th is coming around the corner. 1 whole year already. You blink and it goes away. And the shaitan wants you to be like this. He wants to keep you busy with things that are considered appropriate, so you don't realize what you're supposed to be focusing on. Wal asr. إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. By the fleeting time, the time that's going away quickly, by the middle prayer of the day that is said the moment it comes in, you should pray it then, because you'll blink and you'll be busy trying to get home, and all of a sudden now with the way it ends, you're in the middle of traffic and Asr is leaving, Maghrib is coming. We know that. Because a normal commute now is 45 minutes. And even if you leave a little bit early with Fridays, you're begging to get there on time. And you're telling your wife, don't talk to me, I have to pray Asr right now, I have 2 minutes. By that time, Allah swears, by that time, everybody is utterly in loss. Nothing matters. Every single individual. You and I thought, hey, well, I'm Muslim, I should know. But no, Allah says you are utterly in loss. except for who? One who believes. And not only believes, one who does good. But not only does good and believes, one who encourages others to do good. And not only that, one who encourages others to have patience. My brothers and sisters, we are boycotting a host of things. And sometimes we think it's doing nothing, and once in a blue moon you might see, oh, CEO of such and such company is getting kind of worried because they have record losses. And we think, hey, it's actually working. I don't need to have that drink. I don't need to have that sandwich. It's actually working. And then you change the channel, 40,000 more people have died. 1,000 more people have died. And you think nothing is really occurring. You're not really doing anything, but you're trying to do good. That's why Allah tells us, it's not only believing, it's not only doing good, it's telling others, hey, don't go there. Hey, vote for this person. Hey, try to be a better Muslim. And when they say, yeah, you're right, I'm going to pray 5 times a day. And after the 5th day of them waking up for Fajr and coming to the masjid, they're like, I'm tired. I'm a little, like, let me just pray at home today. And then you have to remind them, hey, have a little bit of patience. Have a little bit of sabr. Astaghfirullah li wa lakum innahu ghafurur rahim. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. To help you understand this surah, a short surah, but a powerful surah that we recite when we're rushing, and yet it talks about the time when the time is fleeting. Imagine you're drowning and you're unconscious. You would think there's no way he's going to survive. If you're drowning, you can kind of fight. If you're not drowning, you're unconscious, you can lay there and sleep. But not only are you unconscious, you're also drowning. And then all of a sudden you wake up. So you can either wake up, realize the realities of this world, and say, I'm not going to deal with this. Close my eyes, close my ears, focus on my work, focus on my children, and then your life is gone. Or you can believe this world is a terrible place, but it's part of this world. The fitna of this world is part of this world. Allah just says in the Quran, do you think I'm going to allow you to believe? Do you think by saying I believe I'm not going to test you? That's part of this world. So not only are you now awake, you're believing. This reality is kind of tough. How do you get out of it? You start to swim. So now you're saving yourself. Wonderful. That's good. Then something drags you down. And you realize it's your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your friend, your community. So you're not going to be able to survive having someone drag you down. So you have to tell him, hey, you need to wake up too. You need to swim too. So that's what comes to the next part of this particular ayah. Not only are you believing, not only are you doing good, you're encouraging someone else to believe and do good. So now they wake up. And just like everyone else, if you've ever swam anything, you'd realize how exhausting it is. So your brother next to you or your sister next to you who's you're telling, hey, you should swim. They're like, dude, I'm tired. I can't keep doing this. Just like we have your little buddy that's working out with you, keep going, keep going, keep going. You're encouraging them to keep going. And when they say they're tired, you're encouraging them, have a little bit of patience and keep going. This is the reality of this world. Verily, by the time that's leaving, everyone's utterly lost except for that individual who actually believes the reality of this world, and regardless of the reality of this world, strives to do good, and regardless of striving to do good, also tells those around them, you also need to do good. You also need to improve your life. If you don't have some exit strategy to get out of this particular country, you're stuck here. This particular year is important for the next 4 years, if not longer. You can't close your eyes and not do anything and expect it not to affect you. Because if you don't Believe in politics. Politics believes in you. If you don't think politics affects you, you'll be sadly mistaken. If you don't think the realities of working against something that's causing atrocities across the globe is not going to affect you in the long run, you'll be sorely surprised. Our patience is tested the most while we're in the thick of it, seeing little to no benefit in the good that we do. As we see here, you strive, you work, you boycott, you do what you can, and you feel like you're doing nothing. But that's the whole point of life, to sacrifice a little bit here, and then you'll enjoy the good. You will be asked, what did you do when your brothers were passing away, dying, being murdered? I tried my best. I did this, I spoke up, I presented myself in that particular protest, I did what I could. We don't need you to go to Congress and say this, that, and the other. You can try. You and a group of you can try, but it works more than just that. Allah doesn't say, what could you have done? He says, what did you do? Was this the best you could have done? Khalas. Allah is Ar-Rauf, the one who knows what you're going through. You can work in a particular spot and you know, if I say something, it's going to cause a little bit of disruption in my life. Maybe I shouldn't say that there, but I have other ways of speaking out, other ways of doing things. If we don't realize the realities of this world, very quickly you'll realize that you're no better than the first ayah of the previous surah. Al-Hakum Takathur. Verily those are competing against each other, just gathering things. Like I said, if you don't wake up to the realities of this world, you keep your eyes closed, you keep your ears closed, and you'll tell yourself, oh, I want to get this. Oh, I want to get that. Oh, I want to get this. A close co-worker of mine, 2 beautiful children. We talk all the time here and there. One day she says to me, I need to have a 3rd child. Why? What do you mean you need to have a 3rd child? Oh, so-and-so has a 3rd child. They're pregnant again. I was like, remind me who this person is. And she explains this person. I was like, you don't even like her. And all of a sudden you're competing. Very quickly, the reality of this world will be lost on us. Because you're focusing on the minutiae. Because that's what Shaitan wants you to do. He wants you to focus on the things that don't really give you a lot of benefit, but keep you busy. Work is not wrong, but it can be turned into something that keeps you busy. Education is a wonderful thing, but it can keep you busy and you lose sight of where you are. My own family members used to be very devout, but their own parents told them, no, don't worry about fasting. You have to focus on your schooling. Finish your schooling. And now, they're not that devout. Who do they have to blame? The combination. The reality of this world will trick you. And before you know it, you realize you're competing with people who don't care about you, don't know anything about you, but striving to just be better than somebody else for no reason. I pray that Allah keeps us grounded and reminds us what we need to focus on. I pray that we are able to benefit each other in this world so that we can enjoy each other in the next. I pray that our children learn from our own examples so they can be examples for their children and their friends. اللهم اهدني فيمن هديت وآفني فيمن عافيت وتولني فيمن توليت وبارك لي فيما آتيت وقني شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك إنه لا يذل من واليت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا أقيموا الصلاة